Good afternoon, world. It is moments past noon in Waxahachie, Texas, deep in the heart of the Lone Star State. And today is the 20th of November, episode number 109 of Grit and Good News, which we bring to you twice a week from our palatial downtown studio in the shadows of the historic Ellis County Courthouse. And I am your co-host, Jeff Lynch, capably manning the board and making incisive comments when required is our man Sam Brook. And to my right, getting himself completely ready for the show
Yep.
is my friend, your friend, Scott Brooks.
Thank you, brother. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Great and Good News on this grayish, overcast, cloudy Thursday here in Texas, at least our part of Texas. I think we've got some rain coming today and tomorrow, and then some colder weather's on the way. We don't normally, where I'm from, well, no, I'm from here, but where I've lived in the past, it's already down in very cold temperatures
No
and
doubt.
gloves and
No doubt.
overcoats and all that. So we're pleased to have cooler weather. But at some point we're gonna pay the price. We may even get a little snow. You never know.
And back before global warming, we could generally count on having our first chances to go on the outside ponds and skate on Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah.
Of course, you had to know which were the small ponds because they freeze first.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but
Well, they do.
we don't have to worry about ice on lakes and ponds down here. However, it is almost Thanksgiving. I want to remind you all that we will not have shows next week, Tuesday or Thursday. We'll repeat the same schedule on Christmas week, but we will not be here next week. So we're going to try to spend as much time with our families as we can and just enjoy the holidays. And we hope you do the same. We're here again every Tuesday and Thursday. You can find us on Substack.com as well. It's Facebook and TikTok and Twitch and Instagram and whatever, YouTube. But if you go to Substack.com, you will be able to search Grit and Good News. You'll find us there. For $5 a month, you get every Monday and Friday an email early in the morning before you're awake that supplies you with what we believe is pertinent, informative content written from our hearts that you can take in both from Jeff and from me and from Sammy. And you get that on both Monday and Friday for $5 a month. So check that out, please. We're seeing subscriptions come in every day, which again, we're just doing that in an organic sense. We're not out there to, be known as the great, I don't know, Rush Limbaugh spent 30 years doing this, so he was the best. We're just here to make a difference. Hey, Terry Bud, hope all is well with you. A couple things before we get into our blocks here. Today is our 109th episode. As is custom, we take the number 9 and Sammy goes out and finds players in professional sports, and I guess it could be college sports, but there's not many famous college sports that guys, players, women, whatever, that are just known as college. Tim Tebow would be one. You don't know him for his pro,
Right.
but beyond Tim Tebow, name me another one that we might think
Johnny
of.
Manziel.
Johnny Manziel's another one. We know him.
All the Heisman winners. We'd be doing this forever if we went down that far.
Yeah, I just so these are pro, most of them.
Yeah.
So Sammy, what do you got for number 9?
All right, starting with NFL, you got one.
Number 9 would be Matthew Stafford, Tony Romo.
Yep. So I'll start with Drew Brees.
I've got his jersey. It's the only Cowboys jersey I own.
Yep.
Yeah. Drew Brees, Steve McNair, Matthew Stafford, Tony Romo, Sonny Jurgensen.
Don't know
the Redskins.
Quarterback.
Joe Burrow, Jim McMahon.
Yep. Bears.
And
in
Nick
their
Foles.
Super Bowl days.
Yep.
And who was the last one?
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles, yeah.
Eagles.
He was the one that was handing off the ball to Refrigerator Perry, who was a lineman that they put in as a fullback in short yardage situations.
He's
no tush push.
He started all that stuff.
He'd have been a tush pusher, but no, he took the ball himself.
That's exactly right. All right, what else, Sam?
All right, NBA. You got
number 9. NBA would be Iguodala.
Yeah.
That's the only one I know of.
Yeah, Tony Parker.
Oh, yeah.
Andre Iguodala, Rajon Rondo, Luol Deng, Serge Ibaka, Sean Marion, Ricky Rubio, and Nick Van Exel.
Wow.
He can pronounce all these
He did
NBA
good
names,
on that.
but
Yeah.
it's the French and the
Yeah.
Slavics and Russians
Yeah.
he
The hockey
struggles with.
struggles with.
Yeah.
All right. What else? Baseball?
Yep.
Baseball would be number 9.
Terry knows
Andy
his
Van
stuff.
Slyke? No, not on
Uh,
there.
I
I
don't.
don't think he was number 9. Okay.
Uh,
Terry knows him.
yeah, Terry knows him.
Let me get up here for you.
Ted Williams for the Red Sox. Reggie Jackson for the Athletics.
Oh, yeah.
Roger Maris.
Roger Maris, yeah.
Enos Slaughter.
Enos Slaughter, yeah.
Minnie Minoso.
Minnie Minoso, who hit into the all Cuban triple play.
Yeah.
Little trivia for you.
Yeah, cool.
Matt Williams, and then I'll end with Terry Pendleton for the
Yeah,
Cardinals.
and he played for the Braves too.
All right, hockey. We got Gordie Howe, Maurice, the Rocket
Richard.
Richard, Bobby Hull, Johnny Buck,
Busick.
yeah,
Busick.
Mike Modano. Is that
Mike
your
Madonna,
isn't that
yeah.
your jersey?
You're close. That's fine. I'm wearing it. Yep.
Yep. Adam Graves, and then Andy Bathgate.
Mike Madonna, Sammy, is down at Victory Plaza, right outside the arena. He's the other statue,
Yeah.
on the other side.
Glenn Anderson, 6 rings, 4 for the Oilers, 2 for the Leafs, and Paul Correa with the Ducks. I just wanted, if you'd indulge me for a second, to tell you a little. I have a Gordie Howe book and I have a Bobby Hull book. And this is Mr. and Mrs. Hockey. He was very devoted to his wife. And back in, I think it was about 2005, he was on a book tour. And at the Blue Line Ice Rink where I was playing and refereeing, he was coming in and was signing books on a Saturday morning. And I was done refereeing a game and I came out to go buy the book and I saw a line all the way around the building. I went way down through the line. I saw a kid that lived down the street from me who was a great kid, friend of my son, and he had the huge advantage of moving to Minnesota when he was from Minnesota here when he was about 5 years old. So
Mhm.
he dominated every stage of youth hockey. And I said, "Hey Jake, here's $20 the cost of the book.
Yeah.
Get him to sign this for me and then bring it over to my house and I'll give you a little tip." And I told him, you know, if he wants to know anything about him, tell him I've always called myself the finest skater in Texas over 300 pounds because in those days I was playing at about 335 to 350. And so he comes home, he says, he signed it. And here's what Gordy said to Jeff: the finest skater in Texas over 300 pounds, 2 miles an hour.
That's funny.
And then Jordan Bobby Hull, he was the Golden Jet. He played almost forever for Chicago, and he was one of the first people to start the World Hockey Association, even before Gretzky got involved with it. And in 1968, I took a trip to Syracuse, New York, with the money I'd saved up caddying. And on my last day, my dearly beloved Uncle Jake and Aunt Sally took me out to dinner, and then they gave me this book along with Notre Dame from Rockney to Parsesion
Hmm.
to our pal Jeff, Uncle Sally, and Aunt
Nice.
Sally and Uncle Jake.
And that's from who?
August,
Bobby Hall?
yeah, my
Yeah.
Bobby Hull book,
Wow.
1968,
Very cool. Those are great players, some of the greatest players in hockey
no doubt.
ever. Uh, all right. So a few updates I want to share with you. Tomorrow night, the Waxahachie Indians play the North Forney Falcons at 7:30 in Arlington at Choctaw Stadium. That game can be seen if you have a subscription to Victory Plus, which we do at home, so we could see the Rangers, although it was wasting money. You can get it there. So if you're not a subscriber to Victory Plus, you won't be able to see it. I think Victory Plus is $100 for I don't know if it's forever or what, but it's $100. And didn't you have it too, Sammy, don't you? Did you pay 100? Oh yeah, well, imagine that.
There's also it started out as a Stars deal,
Yeah, now it
and
has the Rangers, it has Stars, it has Texas high school football, it has about 3 or 4 other, I think, sports teams. I can't remember who they are. Texas.
yeah,
Uh, and there may be a couple more that aren't, but you can see they play Texas high school football a lot. So the playoffs, with the playoffs being here, they're showing the Waxahachie game tomorrow night. So 7:30 p.m. on Victory Plus if you want to see that. I also want to mention, since we're talking about Waxahachie High School, there is, for those of you that don't live here, you don't know this. For those of you that do live here, you should know this, that there's another high school being built, given our growth, just a little bit south of town, but kind of right in the middle of the district. It's called Waxahachie Creek High School is the name. It has been announced this week. We had in some stories, and it's all over the place now. But the colors are going to be blue and green, not unlike this. Well, it is unlike the Seahawks, but it's more like Tulane, I think, where it's green and blue. And the names have been narrowed down to two, maybe three. Those names, mascots, would be Copperheads, bison, or buffaloes. So I think it's buffaloes, but it may just be the bisons and the copperheads. But anyway, that's caught a lot of people's attention, and of course, everybody and their sister has an opinion about that. I think the schools should just go with what they like best and have some fun with it. So we'll have the Indians and we'll have the Waxahachie High School Indians. We'll have because it's going to go by Creek High School Copperheads, or Creek High School Bisons or Buffalo going forward. And I think that school will open in 2028. And, a school like that, a 4-year or 4-grade school, will take some time to be fully full with every class. So, we'll see how that all plays out.
Would you prefer a buffalo or a bison to a venomous snake?
Well, here's two things. One, matter of fact, last year, I wrote to the former superintendent, Jerry, who I consider a friend. I wrote and said, look, I know you guys aren't doing this yet, but just so you have my 2 cents worth off the record, meaning that I'm doing it not publicly. I think it should be the Creek High School Buffaloes, that the logo, because college, a lot of, college doesn't do this, but high school does it a lot. They copy the same
I know where you're
logos.
going with this.
And I said, make it the color, the Bills logo.
Yeah.
But I said, I think what would be cool is to have the color of I don't know why I picked this. I still like it, but I said the color of the 49ers. And so, or I said, if you like, well, I don't like the Denver.
You know what? That maroon gets you too Aggie-ish.
What was it, San Francisco?
Yeah.
They're more red. They're more that color and gold, Sammy. So, but that's where I was coming from. I think they should go with what they feel best and what the majority of people like, and
Right.
just have some fun with it. It would be a little bit harder to, I think, to have a mascot that's a snake. The snakes don't walk around.
I don't dig that.
Anyway, so there you have it. A couple things I want to mention. Yeah, I'm not there yet,
Yeah.
but I want to mention to everyone, I sent a note to my staff this morning about a troubling trend that's taking place in society today. It's called jugging. If you haven't seen it or been aware of it, jugging is a new tactic by thieves, criminals who will watch you go to the ATM, pull out a bunch of cash, then go get in your car. They'll follow you, and then they'll rob you. A lot of times in a very violent way. It also happens at casinos, where somebody might win a lot of money and they're lurking. They see you, they follow you, they take your money when they get there. I saw a video attached to the story that showed a person at a gas station in broad daylight, at a gas station, who had just left an ATM, went to the gas station, was getting gas, and two thieves broke into the car while this person was in the a convenience store, and took all the cash. So it's called jugging. Just be aware of it. We need to be aware of our surroundings at all times.
Terry says the thundering bison herd got a ring to it.
Oh, thunder was the other one. Yeah, thank you, Terry. Yeah, thunder was another possibility for the school.
Yeah, those meteorological events have become good names.
Yeah, well, you got the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't even know what their mascot is. Do you, Sammy? I mean, it's got to be something that walks around and whatever. But
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually like buffaloes, but I could go for the copperheads because it's different. I want to mention a few Tarnations on my schedule. Sammy, get ready to play these videos. I want to play the first one would be Epstein and the Democrats. If you have that one, Sam. Which one? Yeah, that's the same one. I want you to watch this video. Of course, we know just the backdrop to it is we know that the Epstein files, I don't even know if there are files, but whatever Epstein data the government has been kept under wraps for quite some time now, 4 years at least. Biden never did anything about it. Now the left, because Trump's in office, is clamoring for Trump to release it all because they think it's going to indict Trump in some form or fashion. What's happening is that every little bit that comes out actually ends up backfiring on the Democrats. And we're going to talk about Jasmine Crockett in a minute. She's involved in it as well. But I wanted you to see one of the leaders of the charge for the Democrats is Hakeem Jeffries. And Hakeem Jeffries is constantly, he calls himself the Brooklyn Obama, the Brooklyn Barack. And so he thinks of himself in that sense. So he's constantly, I don't know, wailing out bravado. In this case, he's been saying, like, we want to see those files, realizing that they never released them themselves. So this is what Comer, the head of the oversight committee in the House of Representatives and leading the charge to get these things shown to us, had to say in chambers. I think it was just yesterday or Tuesday.
Coordination with Epstein. Another email shows Democrat fundraisers invited Epstein to an event or to meet privately with Hakeem Jeffries as part of their 2013 effort to win a majority. So Hakeem Jeffries' campaign solicited money from Jeffrey Epstein. That's what we found in the last document batch. The files underscore why former President Trump must appear for his deposition. We've subpoenaed him. To date, the Democrats have done nothing to help us secure his appearance. I support full transparency. The Oversight Committee will continue to work to get the truth to the American people and to get justice for the victims. That's our goal of this investigation. With that, I yield back.
Who was it they were trying to get, he said?
Speaker, we reserve.
Did y'all hear? Yeah. Anyway, so there you have it. There, you have an oversight committee that's got the receipts that they're now called, showing that Hakeem Jeffries, who's been after calling Epstein every name in the book, which is legitimate, but he's trying to attach him to Trump, when in fact what the data says is he's attached to Hakeem Jeffries and Epstein. We have another House of Representatives, Plaskett is her name, from the Virgin Islands, which has. She's not a typical representative. She's more of a placeholder, if you will. She has led some committees and sits on some powerful committees. She, while in Congress, in the chambers, in a hearing about Epstein and about Trump years ago, was getting, while Epstein was alive, was getting texts from Epstein in real time. And yet now the answer to that is he was a constituent. So a constituent was communicating with me while I was in a hearing. That's the kind of audacity these people have. I want you to.
So Epstein lived in this congressman's district, which was
The
where?
Virgin Islands.
Virgin Islands.
And had given her millions of dollars for her campaign, supported her. They were friends, so on and so forth. And she's in a hearing questioning somebody, and Epstein is texting her saying, here's what you need to ask them and talk to them, question them.
Yeah.
And she's been out, just like Hakeem Jeffries, she's been out there hammering away at Trump being associated with this guy. It's the essence of hypocrisy. Now I've texted with people who are in hearings locally and other places, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but they shouldn't be. I'm not telling them what to do. I'm just saying I don't understand what was just said or what have you. I've done it with every group here in our local communities. But anyway, it's just so hypocritical. That's the word. All right, Sammy, play this. I want you to hear this from Michelle Obama. Again, this is Tarnation, which means we just can't. What is going on here? This is Michelle Obama speaking to the American public about whether or not we are ready for a woman president. All right, Sam, hit it.
As we saw in this past election, sadly, we ain't ready. That's why I'm like, don't even look at me about running, because you all are lying. You're not ready for a woman. You are not. So don't waste my time You know, we got a lot of growing up to do. And there's still, sadly, a lot of men who do not feel like they can be led by a woman, and we saw it.
You know how absurd that is? On its face, you can, for those of you that are conservative, you can just instinctively feel it. But if you go a bit deeper, it is beyond acceptable for her to be saying those things, in my opinion.
Well, yes, of course.
And yeah, so you think of the last three, she's saying we're not ready to have a woman as president. So who are the
She's saying that's why.
That's why Hillary Clinton, she's using Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, and herself, because she would get destroyed. She might get a lot of on the left and rally some folks, but no different than AOC. You put her in a debate with JD Vance or with Marco Rubio or any of them that are on our bench, they will be eaten alive. So she's saying because we rejected Hillary Clinton, which we should reject every day of the weekend, twice on Sunday, as they say. The same thing goes for Kamala Harris. Same thing will happen with AOC or any other idiot they want to put up there. She's saying because we rejected those people, we're not ready.
And it's a thinly veiled criticism of males. Sam, would you check for me and confirm that there are more adult women in the United States than men?
I think there are.
And so where's the women standing up for a woman?
Yeah,
right.
I agree. Yeah, where are the feminists? I
Yeah.
mean, it's just the sooner the Obamas it's just like the Clintons. The Clintons had their day when was he president?
You got percentages? Yeah.
So you got Clinton was president from what, 92 to 2000.
Correct.
All right. So that was their heyday. And so 25 years later, we're still dealing with these people. They're still in the narrative. So how much longer are the Obamas going to be in the narrative? My issue is any effort on the right to reject them or get them out of the narrative serves the country better, because that's what they will keep doing. They'll just keep stoking the flames. Every time
You
Obama
can't
gets
just
up,
get people out of the narrative.
no, we can.
Especially with the media that we have.
Well, we're
They
talking
insert
about them, so
themselves.
we're kind of, I'm being
Right,
hypocritical.
right.
But the point is that every time they speak, they don't have anything other than this kind of crap to offer.
Right.
And Obama does it with race repeatedly. So there you have it. The last one I have, Sammy played the video with Trump. So Trump has with him yesterday I forget what they call the top dog, Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. So this guy runs the probably the richest country in the world, and he runs it. And he's a young guy. Trump and this guy and those around him have become pals, and almost like, we act around ourselves, fist pumping and having fun. That you can see Trump's attitude towards them as much the same. But these are two countries that are now coming together. Saudi Arabia just announced that they will be investing $1 trillion into the United States in a lot of different areas. And so they're in the White House Oval Office yesterday or Tuesday, and this is what a reporter from ABC brought up.
Mr. President, why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
It's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. It's the way you ask these questions. You start off with a man who's highly respected, asking him a horrible, insubordinate, and just a terrible question. And you could even ask that same exact question nicely. You're all psyched up. Somebody psychs you over at ABC. They're going to psych it. You're a terrible person and a terrible reporter. As far as the Epstein files I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago because I thought he was a sick pervert. And I guess I turned out to be right. But you know who does have? Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, who ran Harvard, was with him every single night, every single weekend. They lived together. They went to his island many times. I never did. Andrew Weissman here. All these guys were friends of his. You don't even talk about those people. You just keep going on the Epstein files. And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax to try and get me not to be able to talk about the $21 trillion that I talked about today.
Yeah. So one of the questions before that again, this was the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. There was a journalist that was killed
Right.
several years back. And again, this setting was in the Oval Office to talk about investment from the Saudis into
Right.
America,
Right.
United States. This reporter, who's known for doing this sort of thing, asked the Crown Prince about the guy who was murdered years ago, and Trump went after her on that as being disrespectful and awful and that sort of thing. So I think it's finally, I've never really listened to ABC. Anything that George Stephanopoulos has anything to do with, I'm not going to be interested. But that's how Trump is now handling these people, and I wanted everybody to see it. So those are my few tarnations in the world today. You got any?
Yeah, and I'll just add to this is that I heard Trump call some reporter the other day piggy,
Yeah, Miss Piggy.
Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
Well, mine relates to the Saudi crown prince and the murder of the journalist. And um, so what Trump is saying is that the CIA was wrong,
Mhm.
because it was the CIA that said that. Although I don't know that they ever had definitive proof. A smoking gun, certainly there was never any kind of a trial.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of unsettled business. But the other thing is about the Saudi wealth and relating to the murdered journalist. Do you remember when Lib first came out, Lib Golf,
Mhm.
and it was largely funded, almost exclusively funded by Saudi money.
Yes.
And there was a great public backlash against Live Golf because of that.
Yeah.
And now Bryson DeChambeau, who is one of the originals, is arguably the most famous and beloved golfer in the world right now. And so that's quite a change from the backlash against Live because of the Saudi situation and the journalist. And it's just kind of, I find it unsettling and unfinished business. And why was there never a bigger effort? He was a U.S. journalist, right?
Yes.
But why was
Well,
there
he was the
or was he
United
a
States.
British?
Well, he was the United States, but he had a Middle Eastern name. It's hard to pronounce. So I don't know much about his history. Yet I don't think the media will ever, the mass media, national media will ever let go of it as a hammer to come at Trump and anybody else that will listen, whether it was, as you say, with the Live Golf. That's no longer an issue, but who knows? There could be a press conference
Right,
about Live today, and a reporter bring it up. It's always there.
right.
And so we don't know any of the facts. I suspect that young lady doesn't know any of the facts about this murdered journalist. Who knows?
And all our Epstein stuff regards things that happened 20, 25, and 30, 35 years
Long
ago.
time ago.
And this only happened 8 or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And
I mean, at the end of that video that we just played, what you may have heard Trump say the number 21 trillion, that's the amount of money that Trump in his 9 months in office, going on 10 months in office, has received commitments for in terms of investing in the
right,
United States.
right.
I heard him say yesterday that in Biden's 4 years, his number was 9 trillion, which is no small number. But 21 trillion in a short period of time is astounding. And he gets angry, as would you probably, when some reporter with ulterior motives is trying to take us off topic. And that's what she was doing. And Trump, I mean, imagine being the crown prince and seeing the United States president rip a United States journalist for essentially attacking me, the
Hmm.
crown prince.
Right.
Therein creates a strong bond of friendship and loyalty. So I wanted you guys to see that. All right, let's talk about. Oh, did you have any other?
No, sir, that's
Okay,
it.
let's talk about our friend Jasmine Crockett. I like to refer to as what a Crockett. She again, the reason why we singled her out is because for those of you not in Waxahachie or Texas, we are just due south of Dallas. 30 minutes. And in a lot of places, whether it be Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, New York, these towns have their own names, but they're part of Los Angeles. And we are distinctly different from Dallas. We're still a 50,000 community municipality, but we're close to Dallas. Jasmine Crockett's kind of one district over, if you will. Right now she has a big district that has Tarrant County in it. She may have a little bit of Dallas County. I can't remember that map.
Is predominantly Dallas. Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
maybe she has a little bit of Tarrant County. I can't remember, but she has a relatively big district, but she's just next door. And for me, that's troubling.
That borderline,
Yeah.
if you left right here where we're at right now in the
Right.
heart of downtown, it's about 8 miles
Okay.
to Red Oak Boulevard.
So
Red Oak
what
Road.
I say to myself is, this is a young lady who's in Congress who shouldn't be anywhere near Washington, in my opinion. She's a awful example of what Texas produces in terms of its talent and intellect and ethics. So written about her, we've said in here, and we've said anybody that knows her, we'll welcome her right here, and we'll have a respectful conversation, direct conversation about what she's doing, what she plans to do. Being head of the watchdog media, if you will, in the district next to hers, I find myself saying we got to keep our eyes open for the next Jasmine Crockett and be sure that we put them through a gauntlet before they ever get to that level of representation. So that's why, for me, that's the basis of the core of why I'm so interested in Jasmine Crockett. That said, Jasmine Crockett, there's been talk about her recently because we're going to talk about gerrymandering in a minute in the state of Texas. Because of what's going on in the state of Texas with respect to redistricting, her district is being essentially eliminated, combined with another one to make, instead of two, one district with one representative, which means either she gets beat, runs and gets beat, runs and wins, or she decides to run for Senate.
And she'd be running against the incumbent.
John Cornyn.
No, I mean back in the representative.
Well, there are two people that have one has one district, she has another, and if they're going to be combined into one and they both run, they both would be incumbents.
Right.
And so and they're friends and that sort of thing. So
Right.
whether or not she would want to do that, who knows? But there's been talk about her saying, forget the House of Representatives, I'm going to run as senator. Now, I'm 64 years old. I'm a deeply proud, patriotic American, as you are. Sammy's 21 in the same way. I I can't imagine. I mean, the Senate's no different, really, in terms of representation than the Senate, but the Senate's always been called the upper chamber,
Yeah,
right?
it's the more prestigious.
Yeah.
There's 100 of those versus 450 some.
Yeah, that's right. So I can't imagine in my wildest nightmare that Jasmine Crockett would be in the Senate ever. Just like I can't with AOC or any of those others who just are out of control ever being in the Senate. But Jasmine Crockett has expressed a desire. She's made the comment multiple times that she's going to make a decision by December the 8th, which is the filing deadline for the United States Senate. She will make a decision by then whether or not she's going to run for Senate against John Cornyn. My guess is that she won't. But I've been wrong many times about Jasmine Crockett.
I heard her yesterday on a clip on the radio saying that with what's happening now, with the courts going against the new,
gives her a reason not to, right?
gives her a reason not to, and
Yeah.
she's really thinking maybe she still wants to stay in the House of Reps.
I think she is dying for this ruling that was made. We're going to talk about just 1 second here. Was made yesterday, or I think it was yesterday. She's dying for that to stick so that she doesn't have to run against Cornyn. I'm not a big Cornyn fan, but John Cornyn would eat her alive. And I thought, just so you guys know why we're so concerned about Jasmine Crockett, and people across the country laugh at Jasmine Crockett. Remember, we wrote about how she's a useful idiot. Sammy, get ready to play video number 2, if you will. This is just a little bit of Jasmine Crockett in action on video. Got it?
MAGA women receive gender-affirming care such as lip fillers, breast augmentation, etc. Why do you think they are so against gender-affirming care for trans people?
You know you want to say it. Okay, so I have this thing where like you know a MAGA woman when you see one.
1000%.
They all have a look,
Big
right?
back,
But they like they lips be up to anyway. That's a whole other issue. But yeah, they don't even know because when that was brought up on the House floor, because there was a discussion about this on the House floor. They were like, "How dare you say we use?" And it's like, no, that's exactly what y'all do. Y'all just didn't realize that that's what it is. But okay, yeah.
Okay, and I want you. So
Ca-
there's
comparing plastic surgery to gender affirming surgery.
yeah, and she's standing right next to a drag queen in that interview, and she shifts into ghetto mode, just like Kamala Harris shifted into preacher mode, into Jamaican mode. Hillary Clinton used to do the same thing. It's so odd to me. I've never thought about if I were to ever go to a minority church, which I'd love to. Those churches are awesome. That I would start somehow being a different person than the person I just am. It's weird to me how they do that, but uh, that's what she shifted into ghetto mode and starts jumping up and down and it's just weird. And then the second one, Sammy, if you got it and you play it, ready.
This is an email from April 2nd, 2011. Republicans were saying that victim is Virginia Giuffre. As you know, she died by suicide. She's been very outspoken victim of Jeffrey Epstein. Here's the email right here on your screen. She wrote a book, as you know, and she did not accuse him of any wrongdoing. What do you make of that? And can you confirm that?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, it's redacted who the victim is, so I won't necessarily take the Republicans' word on who it is that's redacted. And I don't know why they would necessarily redact someone's name who is deceased at this point.
The Democrats did that, though. The Democrats redacted.
No. I understand,
okay,
but I'm just saying, like, our biggest concern is to actually make sure that we are protecting victims. And obviously, she wrote a book. She told her truth.
So in the first video, you see the trashy, low class behavior of Jasmine Crockett. In the second video, that's on CNN. And surprisingly, a CNN reporter there, or interviewer, held her to account. She thought she was reading a document produced by Republicans that redacted. Giuffre is the young lady who has been on record for years saying that she was sexually assaulted, exploited, all those things by Epstein and Prince Andrew across the Atlantic over there. And so she's sitting there on familiar territory at CNN. She's being asked about this document that redacted Giuffre's name, and she thinks it was done by the Republicans. So she's going off saying that, and that reporter, as you heard, says this was produced by the Democrats. So the Democrats are producing a document. The woman that's in that document, Giuffre, has written a book. She's been in tons of interviews. Sadly, she committed suicide a couple of years ago. There was no reason to redact it. But this is an example of how ineffective and how dumb I think Jasmine Crockett is. Add to that, what is out now is that in the speech yesterday on the floor, Jasmine Crockett listed several people that had her. She said, my team dug in, did a Google search, and found these names to be associated with Jeffrey Epstein. So she goes down this list of names. One of those names was Lee Zeldin, the secretary of the EPA, and a former New York congressman. Sharp guy, fits right in with Trump and the others. Tough, didn't mind calling a spade, and just says, after Jasmine Crockett does all that, he says, do you not know that the Jeffrey Epstein you're talking about is my doctor, is my own personal doctor? And so she didn't do any of that. Matter of fact, in the documentation that she was relying on to make her speech, it referred to him as Dr. Jeffrey Epstein. Now here's somebody so eager to get somebody else that they're not willing to do the research deep enough to even say, if you and I saw a story that said Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, we would either assume we're not talking about the Jeffrey Epstein that's in the news now, or we would make sure that that is the proper Jeffrey Epstein, because Jeffrey Epstein, the pedophile, is not a doctor. He's never been referred to as a doctor. So this congresswoman trying to nail the right, and these men, Rubio was also on that list, and others, made a complete fool of herself by zero effort to be accurate, to be ethical, to be fair. And Texas, the country doesn't need such representation, and certainly the state of Texas doesn't need to be known for producing these kinds of people. And
I think we've given her enough airtime. Again,
well,
she gets
I
more airtime than anybody else on our
well,
show.
and I told you why
Yeah,
at the very
I know.
beginning.
I agree.
And
but
I'm going to continue to say, if you know her, somebody knows her, watching this, get it to her. We're just two average guys over here, and three average guys over here in Waxahachie. My son's 21 years old. I'd let the two of y'all sit here and let him interview you, because this is wrong, and we've got to do something about it. All right. Let's just roll right into gerrymandering. Gerrymandering is a legal term for redistricting in a state. And in this case, Texas, a lot of states do it all the time. California is also doing it in ways that are designed, even verbally, by the governor of California said, well, we're going to redistrict, gerrymander, so that it offsets what Texas is doing. Because what's happening in the state of Texas, gerrymandering, these redistricting is intended by design to create more representation for Republicans in Washington and in the state than Democrats. Now, we've showed before on this show that the disparity between the number of people in a state, say California, where 40% of the people, roughly 40% of the people vote Republican, they have almost zero representation in their state government.
in the state of Massachusetts
Much the
has
same way.
exactly zero.
Yeah.
In the Chicago area is just full
Much
of
the same way.
Democrats, and it's been around forever, and um, it's a legal
Yeah,
thing.
there's a problem with it. I will admit that there's problems with it, but because if I'm in a state that 40% of us vote Republican, and that number is likely rising in California, yet you don't have any representation in state government, how are we ever going to get? We're not represented. How are we ever going to get what we believe in as a resident, as the shareholder? It's like being in a company and being a shareholder of a significant degree, even insignificant, but not having any say whatsoever in what goes on. It's just unacceptable. So Texas has said, this is how we're going to redistrict. We're going to gerrymander. A 3-person circuit panel judges yesterday, I believe it may have been Tuesday, I think it was yesterday, came out and said that what Texas is trying to do is not allowable. Two of those, and I left this on the doggone printer, but two of those judges stated that it was illegal and wrong. One of those judges said that it is okay. And matter of fact, just as I was telling Jeff in prepping for the show, I printed it out, but I didn't bring it with me. The judge who is in the dissent, meaning that he's the one versus that said it's okay to do it in Texas versus the other two who said it's not, and now it's going to go to the Supreme Court. This one judge blasted in ways I've not seen before, blasted his other two colleagues for not just they misunderstood or they don't have it right. I mean, he went after them. He went after them much like I might go after somebody, and I think he's right. So we have two activist judges who have said what Texas is trying to do is wrong, and now it's going to go to the Supreme Court. And here's where an example of the Supreme Court. There are many, but this is a perfect example of how important the makeup of the court is.
Hack.
And in this case, there's if we'd have done this 5-6 years ago, there wouldn't be any chance that the Supreme Court would rule in favor of Texas. In this case, is a very good likelihood, strong likelihood that they will. And so the question will be whether or not they're not going to do it by December the 8th.
Right.
So if Jasmine Crockett's sitting out there saying, well, if that's going to stick, then I better just stay where I'm at and run again. Or should I run for Senate if it's not going to, if it's going to stick, this gerrymandering? Should I say, okay, I am going to run it? She won't know the answer by the time she has to make the choice.
Right. Two things along this line. One, when Trump highly encouraged Abbott to do this, and then he did it, or the legislature did it. But for that to happen and then to go the other way, that is what inspired California to put it on the referendum. And guess what? They didn't do it a backdoor way. They did it the front door way. And so if this thing doesn't hold up, then Trump and Abbott have gone backwards because California got it done through the front door. And
Yeah, I think California. When you say the front door, what do you mean by that?
well, he made an issue on the ballot about it.
Yeah, so he made it. Gavin
That's as
Newsom said,
front door
"Okay,
as you can get."
but I get, you got to give. Well, I don't
Gavin,
I don't know if I give Gavin Newsom
well,
any credit, but what he did is he said, we're gonna gerrymander such that it offsets what we might lose in
right,
Texas. We're gonna do it so that it offsets that. Um, and the people of California voted for it. Again, the people of California, the Republicans in the state, conservatives in the state of California, have no representation in state government.
right,
So if you are a person saying gerrymandering, what's being done in California, is wrong, if the 40% of people in California are saying it's wrong, that's never going to matter unless you have at least 40% of representation in Sacramento.
right. Well, and the other thing that relates to this is that you gotta think in this angle. I heard Jasmine say this the other day, back before this had happened with it being overturned, when they're just talking about going for the corn and seat.
Yeah.
And well, you know, the question indicated that the odds were stacked against her, and she said, you know, they might be, but we just have to do a better job of getting our constituency out to vote. And that's true. You know, we can talk about any place in the world, Chicago, Massachusetts, California. You know, in Massachusetts, they got 0 in the whole state. Well, what kind of job have the Republicans done of getting their people out there successfully?
Yeah.
California, 40% voted for Trump. But what kind of job have they done historically to um, justify their seats?
Yeah, I think gerrymandering is I think, well, maybe I shouldn't even say this. Those who created it many decades ago, I'm hopeful that they had the right intentions in mind. But like a lot of other things, gerrymandering has been used now to create states lopsided representation, if representation at all, like we see in these states now. It's become a manipulative strategy. And I'm as a conservative, I'm here to say I recognize I recognize what Abbott's doing. That is to have more seats in the House than we do now because we're going into midterms. That's the whole point of it all. Am I comfortable with that? No, I'm not. But if the system isn't going to require both sides to do it right and to be ethical, then we can't just sit back and be passive and stick to morals. We got to stick to morals, but we also have to realize we're in a game that if we're going to get into it, it means we're going to get our hands dirty. And getting our hands dirty in this sense means playing a game with gerrymandering that really isn't it wasn't created for this purpose.
Back when we first talked about this, I did a little research, and I don't remember the date when this happened, but Massachusetts had a governor whose last name was Gerry, Gerry,
Yeah.
and he sliced up a district, and it was in the shape of a salamander, and that's where the name gerrymander came from.
Right.
But it was all, you know,
It should be that we should have governors. Well, it's not governors. If you have a state that has 60% representation, I mean, 60% conservative, a voting trend, or registered voters, let me put it that way, of all the residents, there's 29 million residents in the state of Texas. If 60% of them, us, are Republican, then we sure as hell should have 60% representation in state government.
Well, this last gerrymandering that got it the way it is now happened in 21, which was, I guess, a democratically controlled House at that time.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's coming right off the census, which is normally when gerrymandering's done. But because
Yeah.
of the midterms and because of what's at stake, Trump wanted Abbott, and I think there are others, to do it out of sorts with the census, which is done once every 10 years.
Right. This
So
whole conversation comes down to what I've said many, many times. Don't give somebody an ability to do something and then criticize them if
yeah,
they do it.
yeah.
That's where it really
Well,
comes down to.
last thing to be said about this is we've got rogue judges all over the country, and we've talked about this on this show. We've written about it. We got judges like these two who are Democrat, appointed by Democrat presidents, who want to stop what's happening in Texas to not happen. It's going to go to the Supreme Court, and we'll see what happens then. But just be aware of all of this. Our next segment is about the football playoffs. We only have about 10 minutes, so what we're going to have to do is condense this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just read the names of some teams, and both of y'all tell me whether or not they should be in or out. Sammy, if you can also at the same time just make a mark for each one we agree, and when we have 12, say stop.
Okay.
Okay. So of these teams, how many of them should be in the college football playoffs as it stands right now? Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. Should all of them be in? Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Texas A&M.
I don't know about all of them.
Well, which one shouldn't?
Ole Miss?
Ole Miss is 10-1.
Oh. No, yeah, they should all be in
All
there.
right, so that's
They should
1,
all be in
2,
there.
3, 4, 5. Are you okay with
I'm
that,
with you on
Jeffrey?
those. Yep.
All right, so and I'm just sticking with the big names. Should Ohio State and Oregon and Indiana be in?
Yes.
All right, so that's 8. All right, keep track
Okay.
of that. 8, Sammy. Should Texas Tech be in?
Yes.
That's 9. Should Miami be in?
No.
No.
Should Georgia Tech be in?
No.
10-1.
The Rambling Wreck.
We got to have somebody from the ACC to be in there.
SMU.
Okay, you think SMU will be in there?
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Jeffrey? SMU, Georgia Tech, or Miami?
Yeah. Well, and in this thing I've got, they got Tulane for that spot.
All right, Tulane.
And I say no,
Is
no on
Tulane in
Tulane.
the ACC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
So there you go. Should Tulane be in?
No.
No.
Should Georgia Tech be in?
No.
Should Miami be in?
No.
Should SMU be in?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. SMU, y'all are going with SMU. I disagree with you. I think Georgia Tech should be in.
Okay, but we get
All
that's
right.
10.
So we're at 10.
Yeah, that's
All
10.
right. So let's go back to independent schools because we went with those are the major conferences. Oh no, we didn't go with we did. We did with every.
We forgot
did
about
we do
the
Big Ten? Yeah.
ACC.
No, we just did the ACC. And y'all said SMU.
Mm-hmm.
So independent, should Notre Dame be in?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so that's 11, right?
Yeah.
And should Navy be in?
No. But this 12th spot is like for the worser team.
I'm just doing them. I'm not doing them in any specific order.
Um.
So the question, should Navy be in?
What conference is Navy in? The American.
Navy is in, one of those little known.
They're in the American. I'll put North Texas.
All right, I'm asking you, should
Yeah,
Navy
I
be
got
in?
No.
North
Should
Texas.
North Texas be in?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so y'all got North Texas in there.
They're
Okay.
in the AAC, American Athletic Conference.
Yeah.
I always get them confused
Is
with
that
the
what?
AC.
Yeah. All
Terry
right,
said
so
yeah,
let me.
SMU, yes.
All right, so we got our 12 right there, right?
Yeah.
All right, so here's who we left out. Y'all left out. Vandy.
That's fine.
Texas, we all agree shouldn't be in, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Tennessee.
That's fine.
Let's see if there's anybody else. Let me Florida State. Louisville.
No.
Gracious.
All right. How about I think let's see. I'm trying to look at any other big names that we might want to give consideration to. I don't think
I think we
there are any. So here's who we have on that list. Oh, did we count Oklahoma in?
Yeah.
All right. So we have Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia, Navy, Texas Tech, y'all have SMU, Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Oregon, Alabama, Oklahoma.
Take out Navy for North Texas.
All right. So the only one that we struggle with is that
Even
that
though Navy stomped North Texas here at home.
you can't have, well, that's the issue, is that who's in for the ACC and who's in for the AAC.
Right.
That's the two questions. So we'll have to see. There you
We'll
go.
see.
All right, Jeffrey, what do you got for a poem?
Well, we
bud?
got a little we mentioned that we have no show next week. So this is a little Thanksgiving poem that I've written. It'll be on Substack on Monday. And Scott came up with a gorgeous title that I found a way to write something about. It's called Why This Texas Guy is Thankful. Texas, born in 1955, came out kicking and alive. Corpus Christi, the sparkling city by the sea, is certainly quite a sight to see. Mom and Dad, plus the three brothers, moved up north, relocating in Casey. Of course, these darling three were just half of a growing family. Then, at the ripe age of 7, moving farther north to winter heaven. Yep, Minnesota was our new home until the age of 27. I did not roam. Then I got a big itch to make a huge life switch. Keenly aware that I was Texas born and bred, finally in the Lone Star State, I would make my bed. So that's my early life autobiography, happily living in the land of the free. I'm so thankful to live in the USA and especially proud that Texas is where I stay. All things happen for a reason, every day, every season. Luckily, I live a nice life with my wife, yet these eyes have also seen strife. I'm blessed to have learned not to regret each troublesome turn. We all run into some rough spots, and from these we can learn lots. I could write all day and still forget to say, in a most heartful way, all the reasons I'm thankful today. Yes, giving thanks I surely do too, far more than I'll share with you. You certainly do too. Please tell me that this is true. Now, what I really want to impart is a deeply personal part. I believe this with all my heart. The most important line in the Lord's Prayer is, Thy will be done. Let me issue a dare. Accepting this will make your life more fun. When I finally came to this realization, I was filled with satisfaction. Each and every step and stumble along the way carved out for me the life I joyfully live today. The dying Lou Gehrig claimed to be the luckiest man on the face of the earth. But if you ask me, I've joined him on that birth. Thanks for taking the time to read this Thanksgiving rhyme.
Very, very good. I've got a few more things I want to say before we close. I don't think we have time for day in history today. We're going to be able to make it without it.
It's a short one.
All right. Well, if it's a short one, let's do it fast.
6 and 2. Here we
All
go.
right, let's go.
Hang on. Crap.
Fast was the key word.
Here we are. Francisco Madero led a revolt against Mexican President Porfirio Diaz, marking the beginning of the decade-long Mexican Revolution.
1785.
1809.
1890.
Dang it.
22 former Nazi officials went on trial before an international war tribunal in Nuremberg, Germany. Almost a year later, the International Military Tribunal sentenced 12 of the defendants to death. 7 received prison sentences ranging from 10 years to life. 3 were acquitted.
1937.
1948.
45. Britain's
Oh.
future Queen Elizabeth married Philip Mountbatten, the future Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh at Westminster Abbey. Queen Elizabeth, the one that just died. that one.
1982.
1956.
47.
Well, geez.
Okay.
Native American activists began an occupation of Alcatraz Island that would last 19 months before they were forcibly removed by federal authorities. That's a long time, man.
Yeah. 65.
1973.
69.
There we go.
Both got it. Yeah.
The University of Cal Berkeley football team defeated Stanford University. There's a bonus here available, and I
Yeah.
did not get it. Defeated Stanford University by scoring a touchdown on a lateral-filled kickoff return on the last play of the game, despite the Stanford marching band entering the field of play, thinking Stanford had already won. In college football lore, the bizarre finish is often referred to it simply as
I don't know.
I
the
forget. Miracle?
play.
A band member got crushed.
Yeah, I remember
I
that.
think it's
I
I
think it's.
want to
I'm gonna go 98.
I'm going to say 79.
82. Yeah, get you there. We close with fire. Seriously damaged Windsor Castle, the favorite weekend home of Britain's Queen Elizabeth. She made it here twice.
Queen Elizabeth, that would have been
2013.
2016.
92.
Oh, we were way off. 3 and 3
Yeah.
today. All right. Before
Go,
we
bro.
leave, I want to just tell you briefly. We've talked about the Hannah Dillard case on this show many times. We've written about it a lot. A lot of work is going on to free this young lady from prison.
Good job, Terry.
Who's been there, in my opinion, unjustly. We, in my opinion as well, we have uncovered what I believe to be some corruption, unethical behavior, some really bad, abhorrent behavior by local members of our judiciary here. In the next few weeks, I will be writing an open letter to them, given their responses to some filings that have been made recently. So I want you to know that more's coming, that we are ratcheting up the exposure, because what's happening in Ellis County, Texas, cannot happen in the DA's office. It simply cannot happen, and we have a duty to expose it. So more to come there. Our show is sponsored by Hoosier Custom Meats out of Italy, Texas. HOOSER custommeats.com is their address. We are awaiting some samples so that we can talk about those. Their phone number is 903-688-1446, 903-688-1446. Call them. They have great meat, wonderful food. You can, I guess, buy some brownie points for the holidays there. I believe that is it. Have a happy Thanksgiving. We love you, appreciate you supporting us, but have a very happy and safe Thanksgiving, and to God be the glory.
Make it a great day and try to put a smile on somebody's face today.
Boom.